let him go. These faces don't faze me. I'ma get it on my own. Cause I ain't never asked for no help, I just did it by myself. Can't nobody tell me no, no, no. And they ain't gotta love you, long as you just love you, you gon' be alright on your own. Straight up the dome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Off the Dome Sports Podcast. You heard it in the song and you're hearing it right here. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Whether you're newrockradio.us, you should be listening to it all the time, I'll tell you that much. Don't just listen for us. Listen in 24/7 for the best and your favorite rock music. That's newrockradio.us. You can also check out newcountryradio.us, streaming the best and your favorite country tunes at all times. If not, it means you're probably watching it on Radio House Studios, whether that be on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Radio House Studios is where we are, right here in Studio A, which you can now see some beautiful artwork up there. So shout out to the studio for getting that done. It looks absolutely wonderful. And now that Mustang has joined us, I would like to...
Hey, how you doing?
Like to do our little thing that we do. Welcome to the Off the Dome Sports Podcast. Your favorite sports podcast where 2 and sometimes 3 sports lovers
5
sit here and give their hot takes.
Off the dome.
As you can tell, Mr. Lottober sitting right here in between us. How you doing, bud?
Hello, hello. It's Mr. Lottober here.
Clown car.
Clown Car, a.k.a. Clown Car. How you guys doing?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm chilling like a villain, man. Excited for Super Bowl Sunday.
How you doing over there, Mustang? You doing good?
Mustang.
I'd be doing better, but yeah, I'm doing good.
We're not getting into this right now. Anyway, make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube, Off the Dome Sports Podcast, as well as on Twitter, at @off_the_dome pod. Before we get into the spots, let's talk about some sponsors that we got. Petra Restaurant and Lounge. You can see their sign behind us. Petra Restaurant and Lounge, located in Laplace, 1036 West Airline Highway. One of the best dining experiences in the area, not only because of their great daily specials and the fantastic atmosphere, but also because of that great renovated lounge they offer to you with a great wine selection if you're into that. So go ahead and check them out. For not only a great dining experience, but a great catering menu, go ahead, give them a call, 985-359-8888. Another great restaurant I know we love, Fatty's Restaurant in Garyville, the good old Ville that Mustang down there is from. He's from north of Airline.
The northest.
The northest of Airline.
Leaking where he lives.
Huh? I mean, the people who listen to this
Where I used
podcast
to
know
live.
where he lives. Well, used to live. That's true. I'm leaking where Soundman lives. But, yeah, go ahead and check out Fatty's in Garyville on Museum Street. Great food, great atmosphere, and the occasional live music.
Museum Street. Are there any museums on Museum Street?
There is.
There is indeed a museum.
Newly renovated Timber Mill Museum.
Indeed.
Timber Mill.
Yeah.
So is it about timber mills or timber?
It's about timber.
Mill.
Imagine it was a whole museum dedicated to timber mills. Top 10 timber mills in America.
Last shout out before we get into what is going to be a great energy episode here with Mr. Lottober. I want to thank Big Chiefs AC and Heating in Gramercy. Go ahead and give them a call for all your AC and heating needs. 247-985-359-0419 is their phone number. That is 985-359-0419. Thank you to Big Chiefs for being a friend of not only the Radio House and New Rock Radio, but the Off the Dome Sports Podcast. All right.
Last time we had Lot on, he had the Jaguars going to the Super Bowl.
I did.
Yeah, that was the first thing I felt like we had to talk about was your Jags.
But even though they didn't make it there, I still feel like they put on a great show.
They absolutely did. Look, the Jags were really fun to watch this year. So, look, I was telling my dad this earlier. I was talking with him. I was saying, hey, I have really bad takes when it comes to football. I'll do 15 bad takes in a row. But the 16th take that I have is always a banger that nobody sees coming, and I nail it. So for every 15 bad takes that I have one amazing one. The Jags was just one of those bad takes, and I'm okay with spending one of my bad takes on a team that I like, honestly.
Okay, so my question is what number was that hot take from the Jags? 1 through 15. Was it number 1? So we still got 14 more, Or was it number 15 and your next one's going to come in hot?
I will never tell.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
I guess
gotta
we'll
keep 'em
find out
guessing.
later.
Never,
Yeah.
never let them know your next move.
Yeah, stay on your toes. Stay on your toes. But yeah, the Jags didn't make it as far as you thought they would. However, like Mustang said, they did put on an absolutely great show. You should be very happy with what the Jags did.
I am. Look, it's one of those things like, imagine I got it right. It's like
Yeah.
like you take stabs in the dark because what if you hit something? Like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Fact. 60% of the time, it works all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like just when you stop betting on sports, your next bet could be your win big bet.
That's right. So when you swing for the fences, y'all. And that's life advice too. When you swing for the fences. Live your life to the fullest and dream big, people.
Yeah, you thought this was a sports podcast. No,
Motivational speaker.
Yeah, thank you. He does it all. But anyway, let's get into the teams that are actually in the Super Bowl. We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. First, let's go through how they got here, and then we'll go into the game itself.
Okay.
So starting off with the Chiefs, first seed, so they get their bye. Then they play your Jags in a game that I think ended up a lot closer than people thought.
Definitely.
I think the final score was 27-20, if I remember correctly.
It was a good game.
It was a very good game. And the Jags had a chance to win it. It's not like the Chiefs absolutely dominated or anything. And then, you get to the AFC Championship just a couple weeks ago with the Chiefs and the Bengals. And again, a game that not everybody was convinced the Chiefs would win, especially down in the fourth quarter. And then, it kind of all ends on a Joseph Asai push out of bounds too late. The Chiefs are able to kick a pretty easy field goal there.
Along with some questionable calls throughout the game.
Oh, yeah. Throughout the entire game, there was some real questionable stuff for sure. But, I feel like I've kind of mentioned it for a long time now. I feel like every game, you're never convinced the Chiefs are going to win. And that's kind of just been the theme throughout what the Chiefs have done recently.
That's fair, but for me with the Chiefs, it's a whole thing. Like you're never fully convinced that they're gonna win, but I'm never convinced they're gonna lose.
That's fair.
Like I'm never like, oh yeah, they'll lose that game.
Yeah.
Like even if they're a complete underdog, I'm like they can win that.
No, yeah. I mean, I agree with that for sure. I just meant from the standpoint of like they play really close games.
Yeah.
I don't know I can't tell you the last time the Chiefs won a game by more than 7 points. They beat the Bengals by 3. They beat the Jags by 7. They went to overtime against the Texans. They almost lost to a Broncos team that we know very much underperformed this season. So, the Chiefs haven't been dominating, which is kind of the opposite of their counterpart in the Super Bowl, the Eagles. I mean, I think they started off, 8-0, 9-0, something like that. They dropped that game to the Commanders, go back and ended up getting which you did call.
I called it.
That was your number 16. So
Yep.
They had to reset.
he had to reset.
The Eagles were 8-0, and I said, Bryce, they're about to lose to my Commanders. and I was so positive.
Sure enough.
They were due for a loss, and they were. What
Sure
can I
enough.
say? That was number 16. You're right.
Yeah. And then, they end up going 14-3 on the season. They get the first seed as well. I'm not going to say that they've had a tougher road than the Chiefs because most would argue they've had a very easy road compared to the Chiefs due to the fact that they played a Giants team that was obviously overmatched. And then they played a 49ers team who,
Lost their quarterback.
lost three quarterbacks. Josh Johnson ended up getting hurt in the game, who was their emergency quarterback, which is when CMC ended up throwing a pass.
Did that really happen?
Yes.
Yeah, CMC threw a pass.
Wow.
So
bet on it.
But I mean, they win that game 31-7. Though they beat the Giants by a good amount as well. The Eagles seem when they win a game, they win a game. Like when they come out with double-digit wins almost every time, which is something we don't see out of the Chiefs. So it's kind of like the tale of two stories here. That's not a phrase, by the way. Tale of two stories. I don't know what I just said.
You're thinking of a Tale of Two Kitties, the Garfield sequel.
Yes.
Obviously. Yeah. Garfield and football really get those mixed up most of the time. But
Lasagna.
What's Garfield?
Lasagna and
What is
Mondays.
what is Garfield's deal, man? Like, why does he hate Mondays? I love Mondays. I think they're
can't
fun.
tell you.
I
Start of the
gotta
week.
work Monday, so I don't like Mondays right now either.
Fair enough. I'm
All right.
unemployed.
But yeah, that's how they got here. So they're so now we're looking at the Super Bowl. We've got 2 number 1 seeds, which fun fact, last time 2 number 1 seeds took a part of a Super Bowl, the Eagles were a part of it as well. 2017 Eagles versus Patriots was the last time 2 number 1 seeds faced off against each other.
We already know what happened then.
It was a great Super Bowl.
It was a great Super Bowl.
Like, really good game.
But it wasn't great for you, unfortunately, as a Patriots fan.
No, it was not. But look, we in the 2010s we were winning the Super Bowl every other year.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can't get mad over a loss.
Yeah. Also, it was Nick Foles, so you stood no chance.
Yeah. Nick Foles when he comes in halfway through the season.
Different animal.
You know who's coaching that team? Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson, indeed.
He coached
Now he's down
the
with the Jags. You just seemed intertwined with Doug Peterson at this point, huh?
Maybe that's it. Maybe he beat my Patriots, and now I love him.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. But yeah, we have the number 1 seed NFC champion, Philadelphia Eagles, versus the number 1 seed AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Both went 14-3 in the regular season.
It's also the first time 2 brothers are facing off in the Super Bowl.
Yes, indeed. Travis and Jason Kelsey. One's a center, one's a tight end. So, not like they're playing the same position. They won't line up against each other at all, most likely, unless you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if they put
Travis at D tackle,
or Jason at
Jason at
linebacker?
outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Line him up 1v1. See what happens.
That wouldn't end well.
Well, you never know. Very athletic for an offensive lineman. Jason is. But yeah, so we're looking at this Super Bowl here. We've got the team with arguably the best player in football right now, in Patrick Mahomes, versus
Definitely
arguably the best
arguable.
team in the NFL the entire season
Definitely
over the length.
arguable.
So, best team versus best player. What are you looking forward to in this matchup? What do you think we're going to see in the Super Bowl without giving away who you think's going to win yet?
Do you want to go first?
No, you got it.
Okay.
You look ready.
I'm not. What I'm gonna say is that I'm looking for a good game, and that lives up to the hype, because these are the 2 number 1 seeds. These teams are very good, both of them, and there's a lot of hype building around this game. There's storylines, there's superstars, and we're building it up to this great game, the conclusion of an NFL season. And last year, when it was the Rams-Bengals, it was interesting, but I didn't think the game was that great. Like, I did not love that game at all, and it was kind of a disappointment, like sitting through an entire NFL season just for a bummer kind of Super Bowl. So I'm really looking for a satisfying ending, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I
Nice-
appreciate that.
Nice conclusion of this season would be nice. I agree with the the Super Bowl last year kind of felt lackluster. I was more excited about my bets hitting than the actual result of the game.
Yeah.
Did enjoy the halftime show though.
It was good. It was a good one. This year is Rihanna.
Probably not going to be as good.
I like Rihanna.
I do too, but not as much as Dr. Dre.
Which one does she sing? Does she sing Umbrella? Umbrella, Ella.
Yeah.
That's one of hers.
All right. I was just asking.
Yeah.
You did Love the Way You Lie with Eminem?
Eminem, yeah, maybe Eminem back-to-back Super Bowl halftime appearances.
They would never do that. That'd be crazy, though. What about you, Bryce?
Oh, I thought he was going to go into
Oh.
football. He was just talking about halftime shows.
I can, yeah.
Like, what are you expecting out of this? Like you talked about last year's Super Bowl. What are you expecting out of this year's Super Bowl, bud?
So I was getting there.
This guy, I don't think you were.
Give me a chance. I didn't get much sleep last night. Yeah, a lot of people are expecting this to be like, this huge scoring shootout game. But then I see it like, I could see it happening, but I also really like these defensive matchups they got going on. Chiefs defense, they were kind of flew under the radar for most of the season until lately they kind of stepped up big. And they're still known to make some mistakes, like the Jags. 20 points on the
Bro.
putting up 20 points on that defense was kind of surprising for most people. A lot of people didn't think they had that much of a shot in that game. I liked the shot they had in the game. Just talking about from statistics,
All right. Look, dude, my Jags lost. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I was riding with you. But And then you go to the Eagles side of the ball. That defense is just crazy.
Probably the best defense in football, or top 2 maybe.
Top 2. Definitely top 2.
Yeah. I think the Niners have a little bit more of an edge over them.
That's fair.
But when this Eagles defense shows up, without a doubt, I think they can be the best defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really think they have the ability to get after Mahomes. And with him, not being 100% healthy, he's not be as mobile in the pocket. He's still going to be Patrick Mahomes, throwing off of one foot and this and that. But this Eagles D-line, I think they're going to get after him early and keep him down for the most part. So I expect it to be not as high scoring as people think, but still, not like the Rams Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was a good Super Bowl.
Of course you think that.
I will sit here and defend that Super Bowl until the
Because
day
the Patriots
I
won.
die. No.
Said it was a defensive masterpiece.
It is a defensive masterclass. If you want to learn how to play defense, go watch the Patriots play the Rams in the Super Bowl. It was a great game. Like it was.
Saints fans just hate it because of what happened.
I mean, yeah.
Like it was. I didn't watch it specifically because I couldn't watch it. Like I could not stomach the fact that the Saints were not in it.
So wait, let me throw back to that. Do you think if that call would have been called, the Saints went to the Super Bowl? Do you think the Saints would have beat the Patriots?
Absolutely not.
What?
Let me tell you something. Nobody was beating the Patriots defense that year. Nobody was. I don't think the Saints could have done it.
I would disagree personally.
Well, yeah, because
As a Saints fan.
You're a Saints fan. Look, it's okay to disagree. Like I said, 15 of my takes are usually wrong. The 16th one is where
So you're looking good.
Hey, 1 for 16 is better than some people who are on TV right now.
Hang on, can we talk a little bit about the Patriots Rams Super Bowl? Like, remember when Todd Gurley didn't play like out of nowhere?
Yeah, he got like 4 carries and he was like Offensive Player of the Year that year.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like he was their best player and he just didn't play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember looking at the box score. Because I, again, couldn't watch the game. Couldn't stomach it.
I just think it was kind of baffling how it like was not reported on beforehand. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Todd Gurley won't get as many reps tonight. He won't really play.
And then after that, he just kind of never got back to being Todd Gurley.
Where is he at now? The Falcons?
He is
No, he's
like out of the league.
Out of the league.
I don't know if he's like retired officially, but like he doesn't play anymore.
I know he was briefly on the Falcons.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Yeah, he was pretty decent on the Falcons too for about a season, and then he kind of slowly declined.
Yeah. But anyway,
Falcons can't keep a running back. Where's Devontae Freeman nowadays?
also probably out of the league if I had to guess.
Like that's crazy because he was good
Yeah.
for a little bit at least.
Yeah, now they have Cordero and Tyler Algier.
Yeah, Cordero Patterson is a wide receiver. They're playing him as a running back. Like, that's
Technically,
crazy.
he's a return specialist.
Oh, sorry, my bad. My apologies.
Yeah.
Bryce, what are you looking forward to for this Super Bowl?
So before the year,
Big man things?
What?
Are you looking for big man things?
I'm always looking for big man.
Okay.
Before the year, Byron and I were really high on the Eagles.
Yes.
And a couple of people disagreed with us. I'm not going to say who. Reese. But, they were like, I just don't get it. The Eagles, I mean, I can see, the Eagles are going to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs last year, but they're not going to do nothing. Here we are.
The
Eagles are the number one
ones-
seed. They're in the Super Bowl, and they're favored by 1.5. So, for me personally, I'm looking for the Eagles to live up to my expectations.
You want to be right.
I would love to be right. I think being right would be nice,
Yeah.
considering I had it before the season. Just this whole long story of me kind of, being right about the Eagles being so good. I did have them losing in the Super Bowl before the year, though. I want to be clear on that. I didn't have them winning.
To who?
The Chargers, who got bounced by your Jags.
The Chargers.
Bounced.
Bounced by your Jags. They were up 27-0 at one point. But anyway, so for me, that would be a cool story. But looking at it from a football perspective, I think the line of scrimmage is the place to watch in this game. Eagles might have the best O-line in the league and might have the best D-line in the league. Like, if you look at the Eagles on every level, you're like, yeah, they might have the best on every level almost, except for linebackers.
Yeah.
Like, the Eagles are such a good football team. It's not like they just have, like, a couple star players here and there. Like, they are a sound, talented football team on every level. And that really excites me from this Super Bowl is we see that on both teams is that they have talent everywhere on the field. In the trenches, for the Eagles, you've got Jason Kelce, you've got Lane Johnson, you've got Jordan Mailata. On the offense, on the defense, you've got Fletcher Cox, you've got Brandon Graham, you've got Hassan Reddick, all guys who are going to show their face and make their mark in this game. When you go to the Chiefs, you've got the same thing. You've got Creed Humphrey, who was a rookie last year and made an all-pro team. On the defensive side, you got Chris Jones, you got Frank Clark, who have been big difference makers in this playoff run. So for me, I really want to see which team can get control of the line of scrimmage because I think whoever does it wins the game.
Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton is a great linebacker for the Chiefs. Again, a rookie last
He
year.
just popped into my mind.
Yeah, no. He was a rookie last year. I think he was a second-round pick out of Mizzou, and he's been a difference maker in this playoffs too. Is that the thing? That's the thing about the Chiefs' defense. Is like Byron said, is they got overlooked a lot. But if you look at the names in that defense, you're like, yeah, they're good.
They're sneaky good.
Yeah, like they have the potential to be very good. And in this playoffs, they have been very good. They controlled both teams that they played to 20 points. And my thing is if you hold the Eagles to 20 points, even if you don't like win the game, that shows something going into next year too. Mm-hmm. Is that defense took a big step forward from what we've seen. Because last year there was a point when they were like one of the worst defenses historically ever. So, just seeing that leap this season from that Chiefs defense, I think is something we really need to pay attention to coming on Sunday. Which, I like you said, I really hope we just get a really good game. It's our last game of the season. This season has been wild, to say the least. We saw a lot of teams who we didn't expect to be very good make the playoffs and end up winning a couple games in the playoffs, like the Giants, like the Jags. Which we're gonna get into the Giants in a minute when we go ahead and talk about who won the NFL awards from the awards ceremony last night. But before we do that, let's give our final thoughts in this Super Bowl. Who's gonna win? Score predictions. And then just kind of why we have that team winning. So since I'm already talking, I'll go ahead and I'll rip it off. I've already hinted at it enough. I really do think the Eagles pull this one out on Sunday. I'm expecting these two offenses to go head-to-head. The Chiefs are Byron said this before the podcast, and I agree. I think the Chiefs are going to start off hot, and they're going to get a step out, and you're going to be like, why did we get a bet against Patrick Mahomes? Like, this is the Chiefs. This is Andy Reid. They are so good. They're going to draw something up. They're going to get points on the board. But something we've seen from the Eagles all year long is that they are going to fight until the final whistle. And I think Nick Sirianni has done an absolutely fantastic job with this Eagles team.
True.
Especially from what people expected from him from his very first press conference as the Eagles head coach. He sounded like an absolute doofus. Yet here we are, and he is leading his team into the Super Bowl with, in all honesty, the favorite to win it. So I'm gonna ride with the Eagles. I have been doing it all year, and I'm gonna continue to do it. For me, I think the difference maker is the offensive and defensive line. If you can affect that Chiefs O-line and get to Patrick Mahomes and not allow him time to get the ball to his playmakers, you have a good shot at winning this game. That being said, I do think it's going to be a high score, just because I think the second half we're going to see both offenses come out with some trick plays and really get the ball moving down the field. I have the Eagles winning 35-31, so it's going to be a high-scoring affair for sure. But I think the Eagles are just more well-rounded, and when it comes down to it, I trust the Eagles' defense to make a stop more than I do the Chiefs.
I think that's a good number. What do you say?
35-31.
That's a good number. Close game, high score. What do you got, Byron?
So, yeah, like Bryce said earlier, I think the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes always comes out the gun slinging that ball. Chiefs are going to be looking good in the first half. Eagles might not score in the first half.
That's crazy.
You should put a bet on that.
You should.
However, second half, Nick Sirianni's going to show that he knows what the hell he's doing. He deserves to be here, as well as this entire Eagles team. And they're going to come out and beat the Chiefs 28-17.
Okay, okay.
So you think they're going to have like a humongous second half?
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
You think the Chiefs are just going to lay down?
I think so. We've seen it all year, and for many years actually. Patrick Mahomes starts off hot. Every playoff game, he always starts off hot, and then defenses slowly figure him out, that's why, a lot of the Chiefs games, if you go and look back, they're pretty close. Because, defenses start to figure him out. He doesn't really change up much what he does on the field throughout the game. So defenses start to figure him out. That way they can hone in on what he's doing. Chiefs always score less in the second half.
And Mr. Lotto, before you get into your prediction right here, I would like to say report came out today that both teams will not have an injury report. Both teams are fully healthy. Everybody is ready to go. It is going to be best on best.
The dogs.
I saw that
out.
today. I forgot to mention it before we went into ours. But again, that doesn't change my prediction.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it is going to be everyone is good to go. I mean, of course, Mahomes had that sprained ankle, so you don't know if he's fully 100%. But they're not listing him on any kind of injury report. Travis Kelce's back issue is not a problem. Lane Johnson has a torn groin. He said, "Nah, who cares? It's the Super Bowl. I'm here." So
Travis
full health on
Kelce-
full health.
Travis Kelce does have a back problem.
Yeah.
It's because he's been carrying that team
Fact.
this whole season.
Fact. But, fully healthy versus fully healthy. We've talked enough about it. I gave mine. I think the Eagles got it. He thinks the Eagles got it. Are you going to make it 3 Eagles fans
Of course not.
on OTD?
No, I'm not, and here's why.
Of course
Okay.
not.
No, why would he? This is going to be 1 through 15, by the way.
As much as I like a Gardner Minshew, I know you love a Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew is my favorite player. in the
and we
NFL.
would love to see Mr. Mustache go out and get a ring. Y'all, I've doubted the Kansas City Chiefs too many times. In the past decade, I have prayed on their downfall
every year,
every-
basically.
every year. I have sleepless nights thinking about their success.
Do you really?
Yeah. And it's not like
He's just thinking about Nick Bolton.
I don't have any problems with the Chiefs specifically. I think Patrick Mahomes is awesome. It's just like they're the best team, and it's natural if it's not your team to root against the best team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that being said, I have doubted them time and time again, and they consistently prove me wrong. And I'm tired of having egg on my face, guys. So what's gonna happen?
I don't see any.
I'm taking the Chiefs because the Chiefs are going to prove everybody wrong again. They are who they say they are. They are who they have been for the past decade. Mahomes is coming off the best season of his life somehow, and he already has multiple records. So I think this is also going to be a high-scoring one because obviously the Eagles are also great. Like they're pretty much the consensus, like number one statistically, number one team in the NFL this season at least. So I have the Chiefs winning 36-28.
Let me see if I can change your mind real quick.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts has partnered with Louisiana Hot Sauce.
I saw that. It does not change my mind.
All right.
It is the best hot sauce, though.
It changed my mind. I'm taking the Eagles like 52-6.
Have you guys had Louisiana hot sauce?
Yeah, I
Of course.
love Louisiana. We have the bottle.
Do you guys like it better
We
than
have the
Tabasco?
Jalen Hurts bottle, by the way.
It
I
is-
hate Tabasco.
It is better than Tabasco.
Objectively, don't like Tabasco.
I like Tabasco, but
I think Tabasco's a D tier hot sauce.
wow.
I don't like Tabasco either.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Soundman's in the comments.
Tabasco, if you want to come hang out at Off the Dome Pod,
That's fine. I'll put you in the A tier,
then it will be the best hot sauce of all time.
but it ain't Louisiana. Soundman, what we got?
Well, first he started off with Mustache Minshew.
Mustache Minshew is the backup quarterback for the. Quick point: if backup quarterbacks have to play, I'd take Minshew over anybody. So that's another point why the Eagles are going to win.
What about Josh Johnson?
Josh Johnson can kiss my.
What about Brock
But
Purdy? Brock Purdy was a backup.
yeah.
So was Jimmy G.
He's not anymore. Jimmy G's also doesn't. He's like a free agent basically, so it doesn't count. Also, he's not in the Super Bowl.
And then
sounds like you're making a lot of excuses.
Sounds like Minshew's the best quarterback in the league.
and then he said, "I'm betting Chiefs money line and the under."
The
That is
under.
the exact opposite of what I bet.
What
I
is-
bet Eagles in the over.
What is the line like? In
50 and a
terms
half.
50 and a half.
of 50 and a half.
Good number.
It's gonna go over.
Yeah.
The sound man talking about.
I'm taking Eagles in the over. So, Soundman's probably right. I mean, he's a much better than I am.
Better.
But, but, I'm still taking Eagles in the over. Sorry, Soundman.
And then we have George, a.k.a. Gerald,
Gerald.
said Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's Red Hot is just okay. It really is. Like, I mean,
Put it on everything though.
do you like what are you putting Frank's Red Hot on?
Red beans.
Salad.
No, you're not. You're not putting Frank's Red Hot on your red beans.
I have done it before, and I'll
You
do it
put
again.
Louisiana hot sauce on your red beans.
When Louisiana's not available, I'll go with Frank's.
What? All right.
Welcome to the hot
Off
sauce.
the hot sauce podcast.
Salman said Crystal is the best.
Oh, Crystal is okay. Crystal is that middle tier. Like it's Louisiana is 1, and then Crystal is the middle, and then Tabasco is 3, is the bottom. Those are my big 3 though. Like in terms of brands in Louisiana.
That's fair. How do you feel about Texas Pete?
I don't know what the hell that is.
Can we get off the hot sauce?
Nah, I just felt like talking about one more. But yeah, so all in all, in the Super Bowl, by the way, we're talking about football.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
don't know, that's happening.
Yeah,
this is
there's
a
a
football.
thing happening on Sunday. They call it the Super Bowl. I don't even like.
It's just a big bowl of hot sauce.
Yeah, apparently. But no, I think it's gonna be a great game. Either way, I mean, I'm not saying the Chiefs can't win by any means because, like I said, they always find a way to. Whether they win them by a lot or a little, they always find a way to win. And it's hard to doubt Andy Reid. I mean, they have a lot of storylines in this game. I think that's what makes it so intriguing. You've got Andy Reid facing his former team where he never won a Super Bowl. Oh no, what are we laughing at?
Someone Salman left a comment.
Salman said Louisiana hot sauce tastes like you bit a bear and he turns around and spits in your mouth.
You don't like that? That's a compliment.
That's what I want out of my hot
I
sauce.
gotta say, I wanted to punch me in the nose.
And then
dude.
Thug Nasty's wife, well, probably Thug Nasty on his wife's phone said
Probably.
McKillany?
Never heard of it.
Don't know what
Me
that
neither.
is.
I don't even know if I pronounced that right.
I'll have to try.
No idea. Anyway, well, I mean, we'll give it a taste test. That'll be the next episode.
Yeah.
Taste testing hot sauces. But yeah, like I was saying, a lot of storylines in the Super Bowl. We've got the Kelsey brothers. We got Andy Reid versus his former team. Sirianni used to be on Andy Reid's staff, and then Andy Reid said, "Get out." So I mean, you've got a lot of good storylines
The
going into the
revenge
Super
tour.
Bowl. It could go either way, and either way, you're like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." I think that's why the spread's so low at 1.5.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for the Super Bowl. Compared to last year's, I think we were all most Louisiana people were kind of caught up in the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase effect, so we're all pulling for the Bengals. Didn't really look at it objectively. But I think as a football game, this is one of the Super Bowls I'm most excited for in recent history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of parody, in all sports.
You like making fun of people?
No.
Oh.
I like, switching things up. Have
Oh, okay.
have a few different teams in there.
Okay.
I mean that too, but so you get tired of seeing the same team winning over and over again. But with this AFC group, the big 3 of the AFC, Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Bills, as of lately, I don't think you'll ever get tired of 2 of those teams battling it out in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, it's that's gonna be fun and I expect those 3 teams.
Oh, it's going to be
And
a long
honestly,
time.
you can throw the Jags in there
Yeah.
as a possibility to start making
Well,
this
we'd
AFC
have to
championship.
see what they do next year.
Right,
but-
right. But I'm saying, like, you've got so many teams in the AFC where it's just fun to watch. And the Chiefs ended up making it out. So if they can make it out of the AFC, who's to say they can't win it all, right?
Let's go. Y'all got me excited for some football,
It's the last one. We got to get excited.
right?
Last game for a very long time. In the NFL. Of course, the XFL starts soon, I believe.
What are y'all doing? Is it gonna be like a barbecue, little
It's a hot sauce party.
hot sauce party? All right,
Yeah.
all right. We got
It's just hot sauce and pretzels. That's it. But yeah, very excited for this Sunday. I've got the Eagles. Mustang has the Eagles. Mr. Lottober got the Chiefs. Chiefs in the clown car. So should be a very good game. No matter what happens, I know we'll enjoy watching our last game of football. Keeping in the NFL, but moving on from Sunday, last night they had the NFL Awards show where they announced, of course, all the awards.
Yeah.
They had a couple fun little skits in there as well. I saw George Kittle sang a song. He does not have a very good voice. Cam Jordan sang a song to Sean Payton about him retiring and then going to the Broncos. But other than that, they had the awards, and I think the awards came out pretty much how we expected, except for They threw a couple of wrenches into the plan.
There were a few mix-ups.
I think unanimously everybody thought Patrick Mahomes was going to win the MVP, and he did.
Yeah.
Out of
that was the right choice.
first place votes, they had 50 total. Mahomes had 48 of them.
How is he not unanimous?
Hurts and Allen each got a vote.
Oh, yeah. I could see Hurts. I'm actually surprised Hurts didn't get any more.
I'm surprised Allen
I mean,
got one.
I think
to be
if
honest with
Hurts-
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Hurts didn't get injured and
If
played
Hurts
the
plays
whole
those 2
season,
games-
he might have won MVP.
And even if not, it would have been a lot closer. for
Definitely
sure.
a lot closer, but
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, the Eagles might have, only lost 1 game instead
Yeah.
of 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They could have had 15 wins. Who knows? But MVP was one that a lot of people thought Patrick Mahomes was going to win. He comes home with it.
Yeah.
Offensive Player of the Year, a lot of people thought Justin Jefferson would come home with it, and he does.
He deserved it.
He had a
too.
historic wide receiver season. There's no reason him not to win it. If he keeps up his pace from the first 12 games through the last half of the season,
Oh,
he ends up
easily-
beating the record.
Easily breaks that record.
So, Justin Jefferson, great to see him win it. Went to Destrehan, which is just 25 minutes down the road. Played at LSU, won a national championship with us in my freshman year at LSU. So I have an emotional attachment to Jay Jettas, and it was great to see him get recognition at the award show. Defensive Player of the Year, another player everybody pretty much expected, Nick Bosa. I think as far as those 3 go, when we did our awards predictions, we all picked those 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't see us do that, we did that on our last episode. Father Forsyth was here, so you can check him out. It was his first time on, and I'm sure he'll be back.
What was his nickname?
Lionel
Lionel.
Yep,
Lionel Frankenstein.
Lionel Frankenstein, due to his work as the ghost drafter for Soundman's fantasy football team.
Okay.
Next up, we got Offensive Rookie of the Year. That one went to Garrett Wilson of the Jets.
See, that's kind of disrespectful. Garrett Wilson had a
Wow.
No, I'm serious. Garrett Wilson had a good season. But Chris Olave, I mean, he was looking like a superstar.
See, the crazy thing was Chris Olave didn't even finish top 3.
See, that is egregious.
It
See-
was Garrett Wilson finished first. Kenneth Walker finished second. Brock Purdy finished third.
Kenneth Walker, he played like 5 games.
No,
he
he played
played
a
like-
lot.
Did he
11.
really?
Yeah, he played like 11.
11.
Yeah, because Rashad Penny started off the season but tore his ACL and went like week 6.
Oh man, I'm so wrong.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it
he did
happens.
really
Happens to the
he
best
did
of us.
really good.
He did.
He did. He
He
had a
was
good
your
season.
prediction.
He was my prediction.
I
I
had-
thought he was.
I
he
had
it in
G.
the bag.
Wilson, just because, and this may have went in the voters' minds as well. Is he had one of the worst quarterback situations in the league and still had a very special rookie
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
He was slightly better than Chris Olave in a couple categories. Which, to be fair, I agree. Chris Olave got disrespected
Yeah.
because Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy shouldn't have been
Listen.
up there.
Great, you made it to the playoffs, Mr. Irrelevant. Great storyline. But if you look at it, he played on a top 3 football team in the NFL, and his stats weren't mind blowing. He was efficient.
He
but
also
it's not
didn't
like
play.
he was like.
He didn't play nearly as many games as the other guys.
No, he played 7 games.
It's the Terry Bradshaw effect. You look at the team's success,
And you think the quarterback's that great?
You think it is the quarterback's responsibility, which sometimes it's just not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. Very fair. And then the Jets did something that hasn't been done since 2017
With
when
the
the
Saints.
Saints did it. They got offensive and defensive rookie of the year when Sauce Gardner took home the defensive award. I mean, that one was pretty
Yeah,
straightforward.
yeah, he
Everyone
deserved
knew
it.
Sauce
Yeah, I
was
mean,
going to do it.
I think the only other one that was up for debate was Tariq Woolen, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner heard about that and shut him down.
Yeah, I mean, Sauce Gardner and Tariq Woolen, 2 corners, one in New York, of course, and Tariq Woolen in Seattle. Tariq Woolen had the numbers go as far as picks, but the reason Sauce Gardner didn't have any interceptions is because they wouldn't even throw at him.
Yeah.
He was so
Yeah.
good as a rookie that they were clearly avoiding throwing his way because he had his guy locked down. So shout out to Sauce Gardner. He was a great pick in the draft. The Jets had a fantastic draft, first of all.
Yes.
So looking forward to this next draft. We'll see if anybody can match that. Next award we had was Comeback Player of the Year, and that did go to a Seahawk and Geno Smith. That
good
one,
one.
yeah, I mean it's a good pick.
That was my pick.
I think that's who I either had him or Saquon. They
you,
were
you and Adam both had Saquon.
okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember which one I had because they were such a toss up for me. But I'm not mad at Geno getting it all. They wrote him off, and he didn't write back. Geno had a fantastic season. I'm really, really happy for him. That's great for him. And it sounds like he's getting an extension with the Seahawks after people, highly doubted him with Russ going to Denver, and people thought Drew Lock was going to start the season.
Yeah.
Nope.
And then he didn't even sniff the field because Geno had a great year for Seattle.
dude, like how bad does Denver look like after trading their entire draft and Noah Fant and
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock
And
for Russell Wilson.
Shelby Harris as well. The
and
tackle.
Shelby Harris. Like they traded everything
Mhm.
for Russell Wilson, and then they got worse. And I would argue that the Seahawks were infinitely better than the Broncos.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, one went 5-12, the other made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, Seattle, good year for Seattle and great year for Geno Smith. Denver, Denver's looking up now that they have Sean Payton, though.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They finished the season strong after they fired Hackett.
Yeah, he stunk.
He was very bad.
And then the final award we're looking at, I saved it for last because it was the one that, not the one I was most surprised by, but the one I thought had the most amount of different possibilities, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's Coach of the Year, which ended up going to Brian Daboll, Coach of the Giants.
Simply put, they got it wrong.
Oh, is that how you feel?
Look, Dable is great. He had unprecedented success in New York this season, and he kind of brought football back to New York.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate, making the Giants good again. He's a great coach, and I think he deserves it, but he doesn't deserve it as much as a Nick Sirianni. My personal favorite Coach of the Year was Doug Peterson of the Jags.
Same
agree.
guy we picked. I mean,
I think turning the Jags around from, what did they get, 1 win the year before or 3?
I don't remember, but they had the first pick.
They had 3 wins and had the number 1 pick.
3 wins to making the playoffs is an insane turnaround, and through all the controversy and through all of the turmoil in Jacksonville, he kind of solidified that team and gave them a voice and gave them direction in a place that just kind of looked where careers go to die. And now I look at Jacksonville and I'm like, dude, they are back. Like, I think it should have went to him or Sirianni. Sirianni with the Eagles. The Eagles were obviously the best team in football. Sirianni, it's his first year as a coach.
Second year.
Second year as a coach. In his second year, I mean, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Brian Daboll's a good choice in a lot of other years. Like, if you look at what he did, a lot of other seasons, I'd say, yeah, that absolutely deserves Coach of the Year. Taking a bad team, turned them good, and they won a playoff game against a 13-4 Minnesota Vikings team. But when you look at other guys who were up for it, I feel like you could have went a couple other ways. I'm not disrespecting Brian Daboll by any means. I think he is a great coach, and the Giants are going to be good as long as he is there.
Yeah.
But I feel like what Doug Peterson did is so much bigger of a turnaround that he deserved it more. But who are we to say? We're just 3 guys giving their
We're just
hot
guys being
takes
dudes.
off the dome.
Off the dome. Well, you're a fish. He's a car, and I'm a clown car.
I'm a horse.
Oh, you're a horse. That's why you're a Mustang?
No, it's the
No,
car.
no, I'm definitely a car.
Oh, okay. How did that happen? Like, we're both cars, and he's a fish.
What can I say? It's pretty fishy if you ask me. Anyway,
Thinks he's hilarious.
I know I'm hilarious. Moving out of the NFL just for a little bit.
This just in. Hot sauce Gardner? Question mark.
Ooh. He did have his own sauce at B-Dubs.
I
it
wouldn't
was-
say it was hot. It was kind of like, sweet barbecue.
It was good.
It was good.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. It's Asian Zing mixed with honey barbecue. It's 2 of the best flavors they have, and they mix them together. It was really
Word
good.
for word. That's what the waitress told us.
Yeah, like she knew.
She was like, no, that's what we do. We just mix the sauces.
we
She-
were like,
she be knowing?
hey, what is this?
Should be known. But it was great. Moving out of the NFL just for a little bit, I want to touch on the NBA trade deadline just because it happened yesterday, and they had a lot of big moves that happened. We're not going to go into every single deal because there was a ton of them.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a bigger basketball guy than you two, I think it would be fair to say.
Yeah, I tried to keep up with it. I was at work
Yeah.
and I was sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
I wasn't sleeping at work. I was working nights, so I was sleeping during the day, and then I had to work at night.
Not sleeping at work,
I
he says.
probably was sleeping at work, too.
But, yeah, let's get into that, and then we'll finish this out with a little bit of fun. But just getting into a couple deals, I think the ones that kind of shook up the league the most are the ones I want to go over. So the day before the trade deadline, actually, we had a 3-team trade that moved a lot of guys around. So I'm going to break this down, and y'all just give me, like, maybe who you think won the trade or what you think it's going to do for the future.
Okay.
So the Lakers get D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. The Timberwolves got Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander, and 3 second-round picks. And the Utah Jazz got Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Damian Jones, and a first-round pick. So a 3-team deal, basically.
Wow.
And I'll start us off. I think the Lakers absolutely destroyed the other 2 teams in this trade.
I
Sounds
agree,
like it.
definitely.
I mean, they get the best. When you're doing a trade, your goal is to get the best player in the trade.
Yeah.
And the Lakers did that with D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, best player or the most value.
Right.
They got that.
And they got both.
Yeah.
They got D'Angelo Russell, who was arguably the best player involved in this trade. In my opinion, they got the second best player involved in this trade in Jared Vanderbilt. I think he's very underrated and is going to fit that Lakers team great.
Yeah, he's been doing some good things for the Jazz.
Absolutely. And then they get Malik Beasley as well, who, I wasn't our buddy Rebo had talked about getting him to the Pelicans. I wasn't the biggest fan of that, but he's still a very good NBA player.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's like a scrub. But yeah, I think the Lakers blew this trade out of the water, and I hate that because I don't like the Lakers and I want them to lose,
Especially because we had their pick.
because we have their pick swap. But you got to call it how it is, and the Lakers absolutely had a fantastic day.
Yeah. Lakers absolutely won the trade. You guys know me at this point. Like, I've been on the pod a few times. I'm really into storylines and individual storylines specifically. And I think the storyline of Russell Westbrook, I think his time as a Laker has really impacted his career and his perception, by the fans of basketball. So I really hope, because I don't think he's a bad dude, and I think he's still super talented. I think he just needs to be in the right place.
He's one of the best basketball players of all time.
That's what I'm saying. So I hope for his story, I hope that he can get on the Jazz, and I hope that he can make an impact and help them.
Quick note on that: the Jazz are supposedly going to buy him out, so he may never put on a Jazz uniform.
Wow.
Which means he could, if he gets bought out and he becomes a free agent, he'll kind of have his pick of the litter of the teams who want him where he decides to go, which I would expect to be kind of like a championship contender who really wants a good piece off the bench.
Yeah.
So Russ could end up on a team that wins the finals and get himself a ring.
Here's what I think about Russ. So we've seen him, play for a while now. Back on the Thunder, he had Kevin Durant, James Harden around him. They were a really good team. And then when those 2 left was when he really shined.
Yeah. Ended up winning an MVP.
Russ can't be the second or third best player on that team. He has to be the best in order for him to be good.
Himself.
Which, at this point in his career, I don't know if he can be the number 1 guy on a team. I'm not
think
saying
he can.
I'm not saying he's trash or anything, because he's very good. But I don't think you look at a team that has Russell Westbrook as their best player and they're a finals caliber team. In my opinion, that's just not possible.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. And it's never been like that, really. I mean, when he was by himself in OKC, they were never really,
No, they were making the playoffs, but they were 5th, 6th seed.
Yeah. And I think it's going to continue to be like that, but he's still going to have a good career. Even if he doesn't get the ring, he's got all those triple doubles.
That's what I'm saying. All in all, let's be honest, Russ is a top 50 NBA player of all time.
Yeah.
I would say I wouldn't say that's a hot take, really. I mean, top 75 without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, but top 50, I think what Russ has done in the NBA, he's won MVPs, he averages a triple double, he broke the triple double record. I mean, the way he impacts the game of basketball is not a lot of people have done. So from that standpoint, I get it, but he is a little bit older. I think the Lakers did a really good job.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Not
without
even
a doubt.
Yeah, when you break a record like that, I don't think it's even
not even a doubt in my mind. Moving on to another trade, we're only going to talk about this one because it's close to home. Pelicans got Josh Richardson for Devontae Graham and 4 second-round picks. The second it happened, I was very upset because I was like, seriously? We had talks of OG Anunoby, who's an all-star caliber player. We had talks of John Collins, who's an all-star caliber player. And we get Josh Richardson. And I was like, are you serious? All this hype for this? But the more I look into it, the more I think about it, Josh Richardson is a fantastic fit for the Pels.
Yes.
We did this trade not only to get off of Devontae Graham's $13 million contract for next season, but we get a guy who can come in and make an impact immediately on this Pels squad. He'll fit right in. He's already having back and forth with Larry Nance on Twitter, which is like an initiation into the team, basically. So welcome to New Orleans, Josh Rich. Very much looking forward to him in New Orleans.
Yeah, he fits this team so well. I mean, he's
He's 3-and-D, and that's what we need.
That's exactly what we need right now. I was like we were talking about earlier a few weeks ago. We wanted to see us bring a new big in. Not saying that Jonas isn't good because he's been great. He just hasn't been what this team needed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the bringing in of Josh Richardson. What are you looking at? Oh, we are going to talk about that sound, man. 1 second. But yeah, I think acquiring Josh Richardson was exactly what this team needed to kind of kick him into third gear, get those wins start rolling again.
Any thoughts?
Look, I'm gonna keep it 100% honest with everybody at this desk and everybody watching. I don't know who Josh Richardson is.
Fair.
He is not Richard Jefferson or Al Richardson.
Both of those is
Those were two of the names that came out of his mouth.
both of those are indeed correct.
No, but what I'm talking about is like I appreciate it for the Pels. I know I learned who Devontae Graham was last Sunday when we went and saw him at the Blender.
Great game, by the way.
It was a good game.
That was an electric atmosphere.
Yeah. So all I'll say about the Pelicans, if you trust what these two say about the Pelicans, because they know what they're talking about, because that's what I do. If they say this was good for New Orleans, then it's good for New Orleans.
Same thing with Rebo. He's not here to celebrate with us, but if he ever gets on here and gives you his basketball talks, chances are he's got some knowledge to back it up.
Yeah, he's mad. He's at a wedding shower.
Stupid.
Wedding shower.
Imagine being married. Literally
So-
couldn't be us.
Soundman brings
That'd be
up a good
awfully
point.
wet.
What are we talking about?
He said, "Are y'all not going to talk about Kyrie bringing absolute cancer to Dallas?"
Okay, so I had two more trades to talk about, and Kyrie was one of them.
And then
So
he said, "What about the 12 second-round picks we gave for him?"
it was 4 second-round picks. And also, it's a second-round pick. I really don't care about a second-round pick, to be
I
honest.
mean, an NFL second-round pick is much more valuable than an NBA.
Yeah,
second-round
absolutely.
Let's do it, man. Kyrie to the Mavs.
Also, one more quick point in the second-round
Okay,
picks.
okay.
Pels are so good at getting undrafted free agents. I don't care about second-round picks.
pick. Yeah,
Jose and Najee were both undrafted free agents, and look at what we did. So, Kyrie to the Mavs. Let me get straight down to it, get all the fine details of what we saw happen. Here it is. Kyrie and Markieff Morris for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a first-round pick in 2 seconds. I think it's a bad trade for both teams, in my opinion.
I think both of them get worse.
Both of them get worse because the Nets lose the best player in the trade and the Mavericks lose defense. They may start allowing 140 points a game at this point. Luka and Kyrie are both negative defenders. Dorian Finney-Smith was a great defender in the wing, and you lose him. Dinwiddie's better than Kyrie defensively. While not great, still better. Plus, you give up a first-round pick in the future in 2 seconds. I don't really like it for either team. Kyrie and Luke is going to be one of the best scoring duos in the NBA.
If he can stay healthy,
Yeah.
or
and-
just on the court in general.
or he can keep a good mind. Like, he's low-key the Kanye of the NBA. So,
That's not even low key.
Same beliefs.
you're a Mavericks guy.
Yeah, they are my second favorite team.
You're a
in the
Mavericks
entire
guy.
NBA.
Give us your thoughts on this trade.
It's Pelicans, and then it's Mavericks. And let's talk about my Mavericks. My favorite NBA player is Spencer Dinwiddie. Actually, behind Kristaps Porzingis.
No one has said that ever.
Not a single
Behind
soul.
Kristaps Porzingis, Spencer Dinwiddie is my favorite player in the NBA, and I'm so sad that we're losing him. He should have been an all-star. And also Dorian
just saying stuff.
Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith is really good.
Yeah.
Like both
Reese
of those,
loves him.
Both of those guys were crucial to the collection of players that they've built over there in Dallas, and I think giving Luka another star to maybe help him. I don't know. I do think they got worse because the Mavs are losing a lot of core pieces here. So I don't know what it means for the Nets. I think it means the Nets are clearing house.
Well, speaking about clearing house for the Nets, final thing we're going to talk about here is the Kevin Durant trade.
Yeah.
Which
This blew my mind.
Kevin Durant, like, if Kevin Durant gets traded, whether you know about basketball or not, you know who Kevin Durant is. So before we get into what's so funny, I just want to break down the trade, and then we can.
You might want to hear this.
Oh no, what'd Soundman say?
So I'm pretty sure he's talking about Dorian Finney-Smith.
I'm sure.
He said his name sounds like a law firm.
That's a fact. That is a fact. But yeah, Kevin Durant was a Brooklyn Net. Kyrie gets traded, and then 2 days later, or 3 days later, Kevin Durant makes his way to Phoenix. Which, if you go back and look at it, it sounds like he was just kind of told the owner, he was like, "This is where I want to go," and the owner was like, "Okay," and sent him there. The fact that a player has that much say-so of where he goes, either A, the owner's a pushover, in my opinion, or B, he's earned that kind of respect, which if anybody has, Kevin Durant has. So Phoenix Suns get Kevin Durant and TJ Warren for a return of Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 future first-round picks, and a pick swap. So that's a lot in return, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think, so real quick, I think the Suns, you get Kevin Durant, which, looking at your starting lineup now, you're like, holy, you got Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton. It's 4 of your top 5 guys.
That's an all-star team.
It is, and it's fantastic for them. But just like the Mavs, you might allow 190 points in an NBA game. You have no defense. I love Mikal Bridges. I'm a huge Mikal Bridges fan, so I love that for the Nets. And the fact that he got so much respect as a centerpiece of this trade, I think, is really cool, just being a guy who likes him. It's weird to see the Nets going from having James Harden, Kyrie, and KD last season to now having nobody.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm looking at this trade from a franchise perspective.
They're just in rebuild mode.
Like, but why?
Fully blown up.
Like, it's so horrible for the culture to not keep one of those guys. Either keep Kyrie or either keep Kevin
KD.
Durant.
Mhm.
Like, you have to do one of those. It's like in baseball, like with my Nationals. Like, you trade, like everybody knows you're going to trade Max Scherzer. Like, but then you still have that core. You still have something that people will go to the arena, people will go to the game and watch. But my Nats, just like the Nets here, they traded everybody.
Welcome to the Red Sox as well.
I was about to say, and the Red Sox.
And the Cubs. Like,
yeah.
When you trade everybody, you leave nothing to build upon, and you're just conceding with being a horrible team, like to some degree.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of pathetic. It's kind of scummy from an organizational perspective. I think everybody should be trying to win. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, I think you should be trying to win. So I don't like the trade, but I think the Suns get better.
I think what the Suns say with this trade is we are sure we can win a championship, and this is the guy to help us do it.
Yeah, they're going for
it. It is.
Like,
yeah.
this was the Suns saying is
If
this
there
is our year.
If there was anybody to get, it's him.
Yeah, and the Suns have been close the past 2 years. They lost in the finals to the Bucks, and I think it was 7 games or 6.
6.
So they were close to winning an NBA championship, and then last season make it to the Western Conference Finals, right? No, they got bounced to the second round to the Mavs. But the Suns aren't a team that were like really bad and they're just trading for a star. They're a team that seems to have always been a piece away. Now it's time to see if KD was that piece.
It could be their piece. I mean, we're talking probably a top 20 basketball player to ever live.
I would argue top 15.
Let's go.
Like Soundman said, the Nets still have Simmons.
Fun fact, on our way home from the show we went to last night, Reese and I, we're looking at the box score of the Bulls versus Nets game. The Nets end up winning, first of all, against a fully healthy Bulls squad.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
And then Ben Simmons played the least amount of minutes on the team.
That's
of all players
crazy.
who played, Ben Simmons played the least amount of minutes.
But looking at this trade, without a doubt, the Suns won the trade.
They
But
got the best player.
not only did they get Kevin Durant, but TJ Warren isn't anything to bat an eye at either.
He can score at a pill, for sure.
Especially coming off the bench like that, because now that roster is deep. That was kind of their problem. They didn't have the depth of that roster. They had like 2 or 3 guys coming off the bench that could really put some points up. Now they add TJ Warren to that. They lose Jay Crowder.
Which he hadn't played all season anyway.
But if I'm a Nets fan, to be honest, I'd probably be fed up with all the things that those two athletes have put this franchise through
Yeah.
That's
the
fair.
past 2 seasons. I'd probably be happy to see them leave.
No, man, but like even if like they're nuisances for your franchise, like they are good and it shows that you're trying to win. It is so miserable when you know that your team isn't trying anymore.
Well, they just won.
What did they win?
They just beat the Bulls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of organizational message
No,
does
yeah.
that send? Like
yeah, I
sure.
agree.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree because I went through it with the Cubs. It was heartbreaking. I don't think I watched I might have watched 5 games that season.
Yeah, I mean, we won the World Series and then completely blew up our team immediately. So
Mhm.
I'm with you.
But again, from a Nets fan standpoint, I'd be fed up with it. I would have liked to see them both leave on a different circumstance, like maybe get a little bit more in return. But I think they got a decent bit.
I think
a
that's
lot
a
of
great
picks.
return for Kevin Durant, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I might be
Yeah.
biased because of how much I like Mikal Bridges, but I think for
Mikal Bridges plus all those picks.
and not only that, but like what leverage did you really have in a KD trade?
True.
Like KD, when Kyrie
Yeah.
leaves, KD says he wants to go, and you're like, all right, there's not much I can do here.
Yeah.
He's hurt right now anyway. It's not like he's offering anything to your team. You have no leverage, and you still get a very good young player in Mikal Bridges, a good young player, Cam Johnson, a guy you flip for picks in Jay Crowder, plus 5 firsts. I mean, yeah.
I'm just thinking about Jay Crowder. Bryce hates Jay
So do I.
Crowder.
He is
What,
the
you hate Jay
Charmin Ultra Soft player of the year.
That is the title I gave him,
Yes.
year in and year out.
Last thing on the NBA before we get into our last segment with the Nets is the James Harden, Kyrie, KD trio, the biggest what if in NBA history.
I mean, what is the what if? Like, what if they were good?
What
if they played?
What if they
really-
played
yeah.
together? Because
Oh,
if you look,
I mean,
dude, they were
The-
together for 2.5 years.
But
They played
60 yeah.
70 games together.
yeah.
70 total games. All 3 of those guys played in 2.5 years. There's 82 games in a season.
I don't know how much better they would have been.
No, but see, here's the thing: is when they traded for James Harden, he was at arguably the peak of his career. When they get Kyrie, he's coming off a great year in Boston.
Yeah.
When they get KD, he's coming off of 2 straight championships in Golden State.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the super team of all it was supposed to be bigger than the Heatles, and yet they get nothing. They get the second round playoff loss,
I'll tell you the problem. LeBron James.
which
LeBron.
I hate LeBron and everything in me. I hate LeBron James, but we do have to acknowledge he beat the record for most career points. So
Yeah.
shout out to the king.
We could acknowledge that.
Pat Connaughton's next.
Connaughton is
Kareem who?
Don't even. don't even.
Don't do that.
Reese will hop in these comment sections so fast.
He's not even here. And
What is he really like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
No, he just
He just doesn't like LeBron.
Oh, I forgot. He hates LeBron. That's why I forgot. That's why I started liking LeBron.
is because Reese hates him.
Yeah.
That checks out. But yeah,
Now I believe it.
So, do you have any thoughts on the what if with the Brooklyn Nets?
I
Like
mean-
for me personally, I think it is because if all 3 of those guys perform how you expect them to perform, and they could have fit really well together, thinking about it. For me, it's just like, dude, they could have won 4 championships.
I don't really have much to say about it, except that you just got to stay healthy. I mean, I want props to Harden for getting out of there, seeing what was going down with KD and Kyrie, all the arguing, all the just like the head cases in the locker room, and he got out of there when he could, went
Yeah.
to Philly.
Yeah, which for Philly now that Brooklyn's out the way, Jaylen Brown's going to be out for a few weeks because Jason Tatum hit him in the face on accident. Philly might have a little bit of a road to make a run in the East too. So the NBA is definitely getting interesting. The All-Star game is coming up, I believe, next weekend. So we'll definitely talk about that next week after the Super Bowl is over. Which final points in the Super Bowl? We got to do what we do. B&B's bets of the weekend.
Well, going into bets anyway, this trade, Suns and the Nets trade, looks really good for my under on the Nets wins and over on the Suns wins.
Yeah, it does.
That's fair. That is fair.
I don't have
But
to talk about the other 23. Two of them actually already hit.
dub. That's great. That's great for you. Mine was ruined. Shout out to the Jazz.
The Jazz.
Yeah. But B&B's bets of the weekend, including an A. So BB and A's bets of the weekend this week. What we did, two different bets we're going to do, 3-leg parlay for the Super Bowl. Let Byron and I go first because yours is going to be...
Oh, come on.
No, yours needs to be last from a what standpoint because nobody's going to listen to us after they hear you talk.
See, the first leg of his, I love.
Yeah, but it's just weird.
We'll get to it.
So mine, Eagles -1.5. I think they're going to win, so that's pretty easy for me. Kelsey, anytime he is going to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. If I had to put $1,000 on one single leg of a parlay, it would be Kelsey anytime touchdown. And then I also threw A.J. Brown in there for an anytime touchdown. I think he is an absolute difference maker. He has been one of the best pickups in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I like him to score a touchdown. So Eagles -1.5, Kelsey anytime, A.J. Brown anytime. You can get those odds into a parlay at plus 689.
Nice.
I think that's a good bet.
I think it's. I mean, I did bet it, so hopefully so.
Yeah, I think it is too. It's pretty similar to mine. Two of the legs are the same in Eagles spread and Kelsey touchdown. But however, instead of A.J. Brown, I threw in a Hurts touchdown because, it's Jalen Hurts. He's going to get a rushing touchdown.
Probably.
What are the odds differences on that?
Mine is plus 621, so
68 points.
68 points.
Which all in all doesn't really mean too much.
Well, what's yours?
689.
Huh. So you get better odds on that one. I guess it's the A.J. Brown.
Hurts,
it is
Hurts has the second highest odds
Yeah.
at any time.
Interesting.
Brown was third. So, but yeah, those are our parlays. 689, 621. Those are pretty high odds for a parlay. But they sound doable. Talk to us about your parlay. But can you give me this first leg last?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So let me say something. But just for clarification, real quick, I could not actually make a parlay, so I don't have the odds on this. So I'm sorry. But therefore, I have Miles Sanders anytime touchdown. I think he's had an okay season, like a bounce back season. People thought
I think he scored a touchdown in both playoff games so far.
yeah,
So.
like
He's had a really good season.
Yeah, great.
I feel pretty good about that one. My second one, I was talking with my dad earlier, and he was like, "I like this, so I like it too. I'm putting it in my parlay. It is Travis Kelce to score 2 touchdowns.
Fair. Yeah.
I'm
with you guys.
Get behind it.
I'm with you guys. I'm positive he's gonna score 1, definitely. I think 2 gives great odds to this bet. And finally, let's just say, like, I watched a BR betting Instagram video, and they convinced me. Chris Stapleton is doing the national anthem.
Love Chris Stapleton.
He's great. He's doing the national anthem at the Super Bowl.
That can mean only one thing.
And the line was 2 minutes and 3 seconds for the length of the national anthem. And I love the over. Like, I was
Hammer.
convinced, hammer the over for the Chris Stapleton national anthem because, like, it's some crazy stats about country singers and the national anthem. Like, only a few have ever gone under. And it's Chris Stapleton. I mean, he is a soulful guy.
He's got a voice and he knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, and imagine he's playing the guitar. Like, how long is he gonna play the guitar before he sings? Like, I'm in love with the over. So that's my parlay: Miles Sanders anytime touchdown, Kelsey to score 2, and the over 2 minutes and 3 seconds for
That
Chris
kills me.
Stapleton's national anthem.
I love the national anthem bet. I love that you did that. And then our final piece on this pod is Super Bowl MVP. I don't
All right.
have the odds pulled up in front of me. I do remember 2 of them, and I think they'll probably be 2 of the only guys
I don't need
we
him.
picked.
The Super Bowl MVP will be whichever quarterback wins.
Correct.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Unless like somebody does something
Unless it's Cooper Kupp
crazy
type game.
That's what I'm saying,
Where he
like-
won it last year.
Like,
Like Kelsey could.
Kelsey could
Be
win
up
it if he
there.
has an
I could see
amazing game.
Kelsey
If Mahomes
Kelsey
gets hurt.
scores. If Kelsey repeats that same game where he scores 4 touchdowns,
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna win it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think excuse my language.
It's fine.
I think Mahomes is kind of a lock. If
the Chiefs
they win, yeah.
Yeah. So I think the odds, if I remember correctly, were Mahomes plus 130, Hurts plus 140. If you had to bet on one of them, I mean, Byron and I would probably take Hurts since we have the
Hurts.
Eagles winning. You'd go Mahomes. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those two guys are pretty much your two best bets as far as Super Bowl MVP goes.
Soundman's got a different route.
Oh, what's up?
Said mustache for MVP.
Okay. Soundman, we disagreed on the Chiefs thing. Please put money on Gardner Minshew to win Super Bowl MVP. Because if Jalen Hurts
not.
is not healthy, which he hasn't been recently,
Dude, what if
he's been hurt.
if Jalen
If he
Hurts
goes out
down?
and Gardner Minshew comes out there and slings for 325 and 3 touchdowns,
I mean, yeah, you got to give it to him.
that's what I'm saying.
That'd be amazing.
So,
They could lose and he'd still win MVP.
It's quite not impossible for Gardner Minshew to win Super Bowl MVP. That's all I'm saying.
you could have said quite possible.
That's not enough words. But anyway, so
Not
has
enough
been
syllables.
off the dome for tonight. I had a blast. How'd you feel about tonight?
I had a great time, man. Got to talk about hot sauce.
We did talk about hot sauce for a quick minute there. I know Mustang's gonna go ahead and head out of here because he's got to take care of the sound.
Gotta
The
go to the
sound man
booth.
couldn't be here tonight, so Sound Boy's taking care of his duties.
Goodbye, Mustang.
He is on turnaround, which he needs to turn around and get back here, if you ask me.
He said earlier, all this work's getting in the way of me watching the pod.
All right.
Okay.
All the work. In the way.
Well, he needs to tell Da. He needs to tell Da to get out of his way. DAH, Da. But anyway, we want to thank everybody for listening, and whether you're newrockradio.us or watching us live on Radio House Studios, we really appreciate you. If you're listening in, don't forget you can go back and watch us at any time. It goes straight to the YouTube and Facebook channels of Radio House Studios, so you can go back at any time, watch any video that we've ever posted on there. Any live stream is already up there, so you can go back and watch our episodes from October if you want to. So lots of good stuff. We really appreciate everybody for watching, and to be fair, we also appreciate Mr. Lottober.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And Byron.
Yeah.
Redfish Mustang. I'm Clown Car. Peace, y'all.
This has been the Off the Dome Sports Podcast. We are looking forward to Sunday, and we hope you are too. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.